writing it down, thinking, imagining, because imagination is important. And the reason for it is, remember, your brain sees in pictures. Welcome to a new episode of the Ewa Eckert podcast. I am Ewa Eckert. I am your host. I am a Polish immigrant with a big heart, strong accent, as you can hear, kick-ass husband, and 2 awesome kids. I am American entrepreneur sharing an incredible mission to inspire women around the world to take bold actions towards their dreams, passions, and desires so their life becomes more meaningful and fulfilled. I believe that the best superhero of your unique purpose is inside all of you, all of us, and we should share it with the world to make the world a better place. I hope that this episode will help you finally discover the power of self-belief, self-motivation, so you can stop making the excuses and create the life you truly desire and deserve to have by being the upgraded version of you. Welcome to the show, guys, and thank you so much for being here. And this week has flew by so fast, but the most amazing things has just happened. And I thought this is such a breakthrough, an inspiration. There's so many lessons here that I need to create the podcast and I need to share it with you. So, we just finished the Operation Black Side, and before any kind of event, I mentioned this to you that I speak on stage, or mostly when I speak on stage or when I do some kind of presentations, when I maybe show up on different groups on Zoom because I'm being asked to teach or to do something, I kind of always imagine myself being in front of this group, connecting well, like being the person, the elevated version of me. Like I want to be the next level of me. Each time I'm showing up, I want to show up with enthusiasm. I want to show up with great attitude. I want to show up with great energy so you can feel it. So you can feel like, yes, I can do this. Yes, I feel inspired, not just for today, but for tomorrow. You get something out of it. Like you almost get an injection of like a different DNA so you can go around and just create your own version of you. That's how I want you to feel. But I never done it before, like going to Operation Black Side. And I was like, why I never done this? And I really sat down and I felt, how do I want to show up? Who is the next version of me going there? So I thought, you know what? I want to be the great listener. I want to be interested in others. And interesting enough to continue the conversation, right? And this would like hit me. I'm like interested in others because when you've realized is most people wanted to talk about themselves. When you come into conversation with someone, what do people want always to do? They want to talk, right? They want to share. They want to talk about their lives. They want to talk about their struggles mostly, not victories. However, the victories, I hope that they share victories. If they don't, you need to ask them. And hey, all these struggles you dump at me, but what about some good things that happen in your life today? Like what happened? Like what happened this week? People wanted to talk. That's the connection. We all wanted to talk about us. But if everyone wants to talk about themselves, then how we can have a conversation? So the next time you talk to someone, ask them important questions for them. Continue the conversation. Ask them. Be a great listener. Be the person that listens well and ask important questions. Be the one that is interested. You need to be some interesting. You need to have a sense of being interesting. Like you can't just be like blah. People will be like, I don't want to talk to about this talk to this person. You need to be interesting, but be interesting, but interested more. That's what I want you to get. So I was like writing it down, thinking, imagining, because imagination is important. And the reason for it is, remember, your brain sees in pictures. So like envisioning yourself going, doing things, presenting, this is all being created in your mind. Your mind doesn't know if it's current, if it's present, it was past. It has no clue. We can trick it. So the trick for you is to imagine. That's what it is. Imagine. So that's what I did. And a spiral of amazing things starts happening. First of all, I got invited to an amazing podcast with an amazing person, and this is going to be revealed soon. Then literally a few days later, not even like, literally like 3-4 days later, I released my podcast. If you've listened to my previous podcast about cultivating sisterhood, and I was talking about the event that I just did in New Jersey, I kind of tagged the creator of this event, and in response, she was like, well, I would love to send the email with this episode to my friends. So please, send me the email. So the email was precisely written with, underneath the episode, I had links to purchase her event, things like that. And she absolutely loved it. So she went above and beyond and started sharing this episode with her tribe. People would come up, start making comments, sharing. And on top of it, I post this episode on her birthday. So the spiral of good things happened, right? But it's because I came out being so interested and helping, and like with helping hands and with love, with, great intention. When you show up like this, great things will start happening because you give love, you give care, you give your character. And that's when things start changing. And that's what I wanted to give you, this lesson this week, and tell you that you are far more capable of amazing things than you could ever imagine. But you need to give yourself the time to think, because in this fast-paced world, we don't have time to think. We just show up without any plan, any idea. So like, how can you show up? And I was thinking, my God, at Operation Blackside, my husband always shows up prepared, and he speaks at those events, and he's like one of the instructors there, along Mike Chandler, Tim Kennedy, Tony Blauer, and we have Dan Fleischman, who organizes these events and does amazing things. And my husband shows up prepared, and he always have a joke to crack, and he always like really speaks the heart to the audience and interacts well, but he always gives his best. That's what it is. And he's very interested in others. And this was like the lesson. I'm like, it stood out for me this past week. It stood out also to go extra mile, to go above and beyond, to always serve, to always show up being the best version of you, to hold a door for someone. Today we were leaving from the gym, and my son is so amazing. He holds the door for me when I walk in. He holds the door for our family when we walk in, for my daughter, for my husband. And he holds the door, right? And I'm like thinking, those little things that we do matter. So when you open the door and you leave the building, look behind you. Is there someone else that you need to hold the door for? Or just the other day, guys, we are literally at the store, and the whole rack cracks on some lady, like literally all the clothes fall apart on the ground. I didn't even look if somebody's going to help this lady. I was like, excuse me, do you need help? And I dived on the floor, start picking it up. The lady didn't even do anything. I did it, but I helped her. That's what it matters. So those little acts of kindness every single day matter, but we forget about them. We are so wrapped up in our heads. We are so thinking about all these things that we, I, me, that you forget. But the world doesn't evolve around you only. There are other people in it, and you need to help them. I hope you got some good stuff from this episode, guys. Remember, the superhero is within you. You just need to rediscover it. May your passion and curiosity be endless. May your enthusiasm be infectious. May your glow shine through the projects and service of others. Because each of us makes the difference in the universe. I make mine, and the universe is awaiting you guys. So thank you for liking, sharing, making comments on these episodes, watching me, maybe when you drive, when you cook. Don't look at the screen when you're driving, but get something out of it, implement it, and start thinking about it. How can you be a better human today? No excuses.